Katerina, welcome so much to Boomx Beauty Beat. It's so great to have you here. How's everything going out? I'm in Victoria, so you're you're on the mainland, right?
I'm in North Van.
Yeah, nice.
It's raining. It's raining is what it's doing over here. It's pretty wet.
It's getting there here too. It's gray.
It's been raining all day, and it's like so cold that if you are outside without like a down jacket, you're running or you're just freezing.
Yeah. You know, I lived on the mainland too, and Victoria is good in that it doesn't constantly rain. It goes in little ebbs and flows. But it's got the ocean right there, so it's got that frost. But I'm from Alberta, so this is nothing. This is nothing.
I honestly think people, like, as somebody who's lived, I mean, I lived here, like I grew up here, and then I went overseas. But then I was raised in Europe for a chunk, and I feel like when you actually look at the meteorological data of rain, it's not that bad here. Yeah. It's literally the psychology and the culture of Vancouver that makes the rain sound bad. But it's just that when it rains, it kind of rains here for like a week, and then it's beautiful and gorgeous. And then it rains, and then Vancouverites go, oh, that sunshine didn't really happen.
Yeah. Yeah, we're a little spoiled, I think. Spoiled.
Yeah. I would say a lot.
Yeah, I would go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm dying to know all about you. So I read a little bit of your bio and your history, and you are from Yugoslavia originally? You're born? No.
That's
okay. You better straighten this out for me.
Not super far.
Okay.
I'm from the Czech Republic. So I'm from Czech Republic, which was Czechoslovakia. We did escape through Yugoslavia, which is, I think, where you got that bit of info from.
I think that's
so I was born in a pretty prestigious, well-to-do, cultured family. Everybody thought that they were, the sharp end of the pencil. But in communism, so obviously, like, I grew up in a culture where I was very aware that I couldn't say what I wanted at school. I couldn't say what I wanted on the phone. And every member of my family that's ever left the Czechoslovakia before the Berlin Fall, then they would go on holiday and never come back. So we were pretty, like, we were known, like, our family was known to be, like, liberty loving, slightly not on the government side.
Yeah. You mean your heart was in the West, sort of?
Yeah. It wasn't like our communist stories weren't horrific, right? Like, because, like, but my grandfather, I know that he definitely, like, lost his fortune like 3 or 4 times because every time, like, he designed, like, he was one of the engineers for the subway, not the subway, but the trams that went along Prague. So he was one of those engineers, and the story that I've heard, again, like, could be some exaggeration through family storytelling, but basically is that he would always make money, and then the next regime would come in and they would take it all. And that he lost it 3 or 4 times. I know that my uncle from the other side, he was definitely, like, imprisoned and tortured, but he was a Franciscan priest.
Ooh.
And like, both of my uncles, 2 of my great uncles, they both fought for the Brits in World War II. In, like, they were, I forget the term right now, but they were pilots.
Okay.
So they escaped to fight against Hitler, but from the other side, if that makes sense.
What a history your family has.
Actually, I don't think that's even that interesting. I think what's more interesting, at least what has caught my imagination as a kid, was the fact that my grandfather, on my maternal grandfather, he was raised in a little like palace or castle because he was actually blue blood, but his mother was like, whatever, she was royalty. And then she fell in love with a horse Dutch trader, and they were not allowed to get married. So they had a child. So he was raised in this palace until she caught like the Spanish influenza or like a general flu. And on her deathbed, the parents finally conceded and they were allowed to get married.
Oh,
At which point they had 2 children.
what? You mean she arose from her deathbed?
No. Like they had 2 children.
Oh, they had already. I thought you meant she went on to live. Okay, gotcha.
No. She completely died. And then he basically, the father took the 2 kids after she died.
Yeah.
And then he went and remarried and whatever. But it's this from both.
Because I wonder if that's so that the children would have a father, like a real legit.
Yes. Yeah. So it's basically so the grandparents didn't have to keep them.
There you go.
I know.
Tangled web we weave. And then do you remember when you were 7, right? When you were crossing, do you remember all that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I have a very vivid memory of that.
Wow.
Like this story that you read is a super short one, but like really it was the actual process was quite dramatic because first of all, we were supposed to go on a family vacation. So there was 4 of us. There was me and my sister, my mom and my dad. Yeah. And then we were basically just supposed to go on a holiday, and my mom had this great intent of the Great West. And then I guess she must have talked to somebody on a phone and it was overheard. So then the secret police came and they took her away and they questioned her. And they took away our like travel passports because it was 2 different passports. It was like a green and a red. One was international, one was local. And then my father came home. My mother told him what had happened, and he was upset because he wanted us to have a holiday. So he did. Like I remember hearing the words like, "You stupid, cow," or something. Like you're talking on the phone. Of course, they're gonna come take our passports away. So then he went talked to the secret police, and he had medical documentation that I had a medical condition and my sister had asthma. And I had like my urethra, it's called a urethric expansion. So I bedwetted and they decided to perform surgery. Communism, right?
Oh my gosh.
I know. So we both had medical papers, and then my dad basically begged that they would let my mom go just for the sake of health. So that he was held behind, and then my mom was allowed to go with us. So then we had I think it was 3 weeks in Dubrovnik, and we had a lovely holiday, ate watermelons, swam, went to the ocean, did like normal things that you would do on a holiday. Yeah. And it was like my sister cracked her head open on that trip on the heat register in like the kind of like an Airbnb we were staying at. It was in a family home. And it was the first time I saw Flintstones, but it was in Croatian, not even in English.
I wonder what that would sound like.
Croatian. But I hadn't seen Western television at all, but Yugoslavia was close enough to the Austrian, you know what I mean? Like to the borders that it picked up the signals, right? Yeah. Or maybe it was in German, actually. Maybe it was in German. Anyway, they were watching it. And then the plan was, apparently, that we went to a harbor right at the very end of our vacation. We were supposed to get picked up by a boat, and then we were supposed to hide, and they were going to literally take us to Italy and just go around, and hopefully we don't get caught and get killed, right? And that was basically the actual plan. So that morning we went there and we waited and we waited and we waited, and my mom was very young, like she was only 27 and I was 7 and my sister was 4. And so I remember us having some food, us going through the food, not being able to go anywhere, and just waiting and waiting and waiting. And the night came and still nobody had come, and now the boat wasn't coming. And now we had magically overstayed our visa. So if now she went back and said, "Oops, sorry, I slept in," it would be like we would never be allowed to go out again.
Oh, geez.
Do you know what I mean?
Tensions, we don't realize, all the things.
So what my mom did was after this whole day, so she's got this, like, I'm sure, this super annoying 7 and 4-year-old who are just whining and crying and being like really annoying.
Yeah.
And then, so what she did was she called her sister who lived with her boyfriend in Munich.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically said, I don't know what to do. So he went and he drove from Munich. So we just waited.
Yeah.
So he came and he picked us up. So then literally he just loaded us into the car, and my mom tried to use her younger sister's passport, because they look alike, to get through the border. The problem is that me and my sister weren't on that passport, because that's what you did back then. Do you remember? Like you were on your parents' passport.
Yeah. Back when I was little.
Right. So we weren't on it. So they didn't let her through. She spoke German, so she could get away with it. Mm-hmm. And we were supposed to be sleeping. Like, we were told, sleep or you will die.
Oh,
right?
No pressure.
No pressure. Just sleep or you will die. Pretend to sleep. Don't move. Don't try to look. Just like fully, like, don't move. Look very relaxed. You know, if they try to wake you, act super groggy and confused and don't make any sense.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like, these are the instructions, right? To the 4 and the 7-year-old. And then they didn't let us through. So then basically we backed up. And then what happened was that security guard, then this border crossing guard, then went and he called all the borders to notify them that a woman with 2 children was trying to cross the border.
Yeah.
So now we couldn't go anywhere, period, right?
Oh.
So my mom basically went and she put the map on the hood of a map. The map on the hood of a car. She waved her hand in the air and she just pointed down, and she picked a spot. And on that spot was kind of lucky, because the town that we had our farm in and that my grandma grew up in was called Jesenice. And this town that she pointed to was called Jesenica. So like literally like the vowel end is different at the end, right?
Yeah.
And so basically we went like a few kilometers from the border. We pulled into like a foresty road, like gravel road. We drove in as far as we could. And then basically we got out and we just started walking like parallel to the border. So if this was the road to get in to the next country, we basically went on this side and started walking along a ridge, but it was like a big hill, and there was barbed wire fences running up all the way up along the side. And at the bottom of those barbed wire fences, once you got close to the border, were German shepherds or attack dogs, right? So if they heard any noise, then they would release them. And then those people, I mean, those weren't friendly dogs, right? They would literally just rip you from limb to limb, right?
Oh my God.
So, and then the guys at the bottom, they had machine guns, and I could see that, right? I could see the machine guns. So we were lifted over the barbed wire into mud that was at that point like to my knees or to my like almost my hips, and then we would walk the next bit, and like it was like literally we were just told you're not allowed to make any noise.
Oh, so then you got over the barbed wire. How did the adults get over?
They used a jacket and they climbed over.
Okay, so they just used the material to cover them, so they
yeah. That's what everybody did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's like a movie, I tell you.
No, it is. But then, I mean, we then went to then we got through. I mean, there was a few adventures, but we got to Munich. We kind of had like 2 weeks I think, of spending with my aunt. And then we had to go to a refugee camp. And then we spent like 3.5 months in like a proper refugee camp, which in Germany it's called a lager. And then after that, you get kind of transferred. We got transferred quickly because my mom was 27, young, attractive, and she was there with 2 younger girls. So it was like prime, like rape risk.
Oh, perfect.
Right? So like we got transferred out of there pretty fast into like residential refugee housing.
Okay.
So we actually had like a really good experience in Germany, but like, and I think I still see it with the eyes of like white privilege, like that the people who were not my skin color or my hair color or my eye color or genetic background stayed in the other refugee camp for years.
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean? So like
all these little things that kind of like, is it luck or is it fortuitous, or is it like,
I think,
predestined fate? What is it? But it
yeah,
seems like everything that you went through, every little bit along the way, there's just these little bits that got you that, to the next thing and to the next thing. And, the white privilege part is super unfortunate, but I'm surely glad that you're here still. Like, I'm glad that you're here. And then I'm going to move you all the way up
yeah,
in
yeah,
time
move me along. Yeah,
you went to Taiwan.
yeah.
Yeah, I did too. It's another story. So I know Taiwan. I had my passport stolen in Taiwan, and we couldn't get out of the country. There was a waiting list all the time to get out of the country if you lose your ticket, right? Well, it's just stupid young 20-year-old trying to make it in the skincare company that I was in and whatnot.
Sorry, in a what? In a skincare?
I was in a skincare company. It was multi-level marketing back in the day when it was big and sort of starting.
And multi-level was outlawed in Taiwan at the time, I'm sure. Well, how many years ago was it?
Okay, so I'm 50, so I was 20, so 30 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't even legal.
It was kind of communist there too-ish, like sort of like they would come with the trucks and they'd do the sirens down the road all the time. I remember
No,
that.
that's not sirens. That's the garbage, honey.
No, well, they had the army, like they had the army with the big machine guns and things like that occasionally come through, and they run the emergency sirens.
Oh, but they still do that. They still do that. That's just that's just like a couple days ago we had like your phone, I'm sure, did it. There was like the emergency broadcast.
Yeah.
Right? So they do the same thing there, but they just do it like live practice because they're constantly afraid. It's not that they're communists. They're actually super democratic. They're terrified of the communists coming.
So don't they have a little bit of a conflict all the time with ish?
Yes.
Not conflict, but conflict.
Well, they don't have a conflict. They say they're a democratic country.
Right.
China says that they belong to them.
That's what I mean. Like there's some kind of situation there. Yeah. So that's, that was all stuff. I just was so young and so unaware and yada, yada, yada. But no, I mean, I was there at 20 and I'm in front of like hundreds of people teaching them. And I'm like, what is happening here? I went from the penthouse to the outhouse repeatedly in Taiwan. It was just a bizarre 6 months.
What does that mean, from the penthouse to the outhouse?
Meaning I was teaching in front of these great groups of people. I was getting paid a lot for one night, and then they would copy everything that I did and then replace me, and then I'd go to work the next day and they'd have someone teaching exactly, they copied what I did. And ended up that we couldn't get out of the country. We were only supposed to be there 6 weeks, couldn't get out of the country for 6 months. We were starving on the streets. We were splitting a bag of Cheetos for like 3-4 days to get through because we had no way to earn any money, and our passports we had no way to get out. There was no consulate there. We had to get our passports sent from Hong Kong, and it took forever. And when I finally got out of there, there's so many stories about Taiwan, but they're crazy. But then, the people were very nice to us in general. Like it was not that at all. But
they just wanted to touch your hair.
Well, I had a boyfriend at the time. He was 6'5" and blonde, and literally they would see him and they would think he's like a blonde giant. They would crash. The cars would crash when they saw him. Just a whole different culture. But I mean, I met beautiful people there. There's no question that it's beautiful people. But I had
It's not that bad now. It's
I'm sure it's 30 years ago.
But it's still like the buildings you would have seen 30 years ago. Those buildings would still be the same. So the way that people lived in with the grates on the windows and stuff in the markets, all of that would have been the same. The smells would have been the same.
Yeah. Yeah. When were you there? What year?
We came back 3.5 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm sure they super modernized. They're used to having, tall, white, blonde people there now. They're still not?
No.
It's still not?
No. Okay, so if you're in a city or if you're in a complex, one of the more modern building complexes, then you might have for example, Shuilian Senjuang, which is in Shizi, this means nothing to you, but it they would have it's a community of 5,000 people within a city, right? So it's think of it like a what do you call it? A closed housing complex, right?
Okay.
And There was 500 foreigners. So in that case, sure, the foreigners were like pretty numerous, and the people in that little tiny community, they knew who was the foreigners, but you still stuck out like a sore thumb.
Okay.
But if you were like in the normal city, or if you lived slightly in the burbs, you might be one of 5 only white, like there may be like other than pure Taiwanese Asian.
Yeah.
Whether they'll say like they call themselves like Taiwanese say this. I'm not saying it. I'm repeating what a Taiwanese person says. It's very important.
Yeah.
They call themselves like dogs or pigs based on their political allegiances to either mainland China or Japan, or like their educational values.
Wow.
But so if they are like you, there might be 5 people in that community that are other than that, right? Anything other. And if you are even like a quarter or like 1/8 something else, you're a foreigner. Wow. You're a white woman. You're a white woman, right? So I knew people who were like 75% Taiwanese, were born in Taiwan, had Taiwanese citizenship, spoke the language, had jobs, but they were a foreigner.
Do you remember a little bit of the, well, obviously you must, but the only word I remember is xiaojie. Does that say?
Xiaojie is just young lady.
Yeah.
But in mainland China, xiaojie means prostitute.
Oh, perfect. Probably with my makeup on, they probably thought I'm both.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh,
but
my
they
gosh.
would have called you that, like that is just in general. Like they will not say you're, but I mean it's like family familiarity, right?
Yeah.
Like you never call, like in your family, you never call people by their names. Like, you know, like everyone is like, I'm the older sister, so I'm Chia Chia. You might be the younger sister, so you're Mei Mei. You know, the older brother is Gugu, the younger brother is Didi. You know, and they have like separations of like, if you're the mother's older brother or the mother's younger brother, and they don't ever call each other by their names. They have like, it's like, it's all this repetitive words, like,
Yeah, well, one thing I found fascinating about your story is that you did business in were you in Taipei, not in Taipei? You never went to Taipei?
No, I was in Taipei. I did. But I did everything through like the expat community. So basically like my mom is an esthetician. She had her own business. So I always had like high-end products for free or like for retail cost. Yeah. Then I moved to Taipei, and my mom was basically sending me stuff constantly. And then she went back to school, and she became a nurse, and she basically stopped doing aesthetics except for her like few favorite clients. So there came a point where I literally just got a package. There was a message in it, and it was just like, this is the last order. You're not getting any more. That's it. I'm done. And so then I kind of like, I used that up, and that was pretty soon after I got to Taipei, but I got a lot. So I kind of used that up. Right. And then I remember like trying to going and searching and seeing what I could buy, and, and like I went like looked at, for example, L'Occitane, right? Because they had pretty decent ingredients. And then I was kind of blown away and just disgusted at the fillers and the price. Yeah. And then if there was a good ingredient, then it was like this tiny smidget compared to the filler and the preservative. And then it was like, $200 for this tiny jar that you could literally like, just squirt all on your face. And like, so I was just kind of like very disenchanted and upset. Yeah. And I remember, so it was kind of like me looking for stuff, and I just made like a Christmas gift. And I just made a Christmas gift for me and my work colleagues. And I just made like a lip balm and a rescue stick, which was like for heat or for headaches, but it was like in a lip balm container. And I made like a cream, and I made like 4 different things, and I put it together, and then I had some left over. Everybody loved it, but it's a gift, right? But what my husband said was, he said, instead of just letting it sit in the house, because you're not going to use up all these lip balms, he's like, post it on Taipei, buy and sell. So I did. Yeah. And I sold everything, and then people asked for more. So then I made some more. And then I had one of the girls who bought quite a bit of it. Then she started like placing orders. And every time she ordered, I was like, you know, I'm not a business. I'm just doing this because I don't like the garbage that's out there. I don't want petroleum. I don't want fillers. I want all active, real ingredients. And every time she said, yes, but this is exactly why I'm ordering from you. And every time anybody ordered for like the first 2 years, I'd be like, this is my hobby. I want you to realize that this is just a hobby. I'm not making any money off of this. I'm just doing it because the world needs sustainable, recyclable, you know what I mean? Pure, 100% active ingredients.
Wow.
And during that time, what happened was my client base slowly expanded to about 200 people. And I slowly expanded my line, not because I was trying to make more products, but because my clients were coming to me saying, hey, I really love this product. It's from the UK. Can you make it? And I just started like looking at ingredients list, and I just had kind of like a knack where I could look at an ingredients label. I kind of knew how much like wax and base you needed in it. So I would just make it. And I never considered money as an obstacle, because to me it was about skin food. I just wanted good skincare that was multi-use. Like for example, like my Age Defy. So like my Age Defy cream is a face cream, it's an eye cream, and you can use it as a lubricant.
What?
Right. Because who the heck doesn't want their vagina to get a bit of a boost?
Yeah, right? What?
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and I just kind of like, as I went, I adapted and improved it. Right. So I originally, when I made the cream, I based it from a homeopathic recipe, from a naturopathic recipe, who had made a cream for her daughter who had gotten a scar. Actually, I have a scar right here. Do you see it? Little bit, tiny bit. Do you see? No, it's gone.
I can't see it.
It's gone. It's because it's gone.
I can't see anything. It looks like a baby's butt. Your cheeks
I
are
could
so
show you
nice.
last. I'm not even wearing any. I'm like a mess from work. But anyway, I could show you last year's picture, and this was like this giant scar. It was, I needed stitches, and it was swollen and purple, and it was horrible. It's not even a year. It's like been 8 months. And my daughter did it at night. I don't know how she did it. I don't know if she grabbed a toy, a nail, a toenail. I'm very confused.
Something came for you.
I woke up and my face was burning and there was blood. You know?
Oh my gosh. She had a dream.
Yeah. So when I first made that, I made that cream to be like a scar cream, but that naturopath, she discovered how great it was for age defying and wrinkles and actual collagen production, because it had like frankincense and rose and sandalwood and all of that light and bright and toned. But as I went, I was kind of like, well, I'm like, that's good, right? But can't we make it better? So like I added like Matrix Cells 3000. So like I put Matrix Cells 3000 in that cream, which you can only get into.
Oh, now I feel better. I just want to be part of the fun.
Yeah.
It's bitter. Oh,
so basically, like I just kept adding stuff, because like the Matrix Cell is only in like, you would find it only in like, you know, in $200-300 products.
Right.
It's pretty hard to find. So as I went, I started making products for what my friends needed and for what I needed. And I kept learning and learning. And everything I made and everything that I sold, I put my money back into buying materials.
Right.
So I never stopped. And then it was, I guess I must have been 2 years into it when one of my first clients basically looked at me and she said, how many clients do you have? She's like, I think you have to start kind of considering that possibly you could be a business.
It never occurred to you before that.
Well, it was just, to me, it was business because I was breaking even and I was getting to have fun and I was
Yeah.
getting what I needed. And, when I had Charlotte, then 35, 36, 37, and when did I make Time Machine? Then, I definitely, I had boob wrinkles, and I made them go away. I had
Wow.
way bigger crow lines than I do now, and I'm, 11 years older. Because again, it just sometimes it sounds ridiculous, but if you use pure ingredients where everything is active, everything is pure, you're
Yeah.
getting 30, 40, 50% more than whatever you're using. I would say maybe even more than that, because if you're using traditional creams, toners, sprays, serums,
Mm.
then if they have any kind of alcohol or preservative in it, then that is actually causing harm to your skin,
Mm-hmm.
while the good product is causing good, which might mean that in the long run, you're operating at a plus 1% or a minus something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might actually be breaking even in the goodness of what you're doing.
What do you think of the retinol craze right now for us 50 plussers? It's just
Retinol's been around for a long time.
it's just like flaring right now everywhere in all of this, in all of the medi spas and stuff like that. And that's where all the YouTubers, all the mature YouTubers are pushing women to go, have to get retinol, have to, and that's the only thing that will work. There's nothing else that can work for fine lines, period. That's the
No,
state. That's what they're saying.
I don't believe that, not even a little.
Yeah.
I think retinol is good.
Yeah.
And probably if I got a retinol that I really trusted, I might even put it into a product.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really found one that I really trust yet, because I'm
Yeah.
pretty fussy about what I put in, right? So
Yeah.
it's like collagen. I use water-based collagen that is a small molecule, so that it's actually so much more expensive, but you're getting more bang for your buck. For fine lines and wrinkles, I think that's where your real question is. Honestly, I would say, out of my products, it's if you use Age Defy with Matrixyl, and it has the frankincense, rose, sandalwood, the Matrixyl, of course. Then you get a microneedling roller, and you roll the bejeebers out of your lines, and you create, because have you ever used one of those?
I have never used a microneedling. I'm gonna have to.
Seriously,
Do
go
you
for it.
have them, or do I have to find?
I usually order a few. I don't care. I used to carry them. I don't
Yeah.
do that anymore, because it's me carrying 500 units and then I sell them super slowly. But I did just order some, and I'll have some, I think, before Christmas, just
Yeah.
because I had a client who wanted some. But the
Ooh.
microneedling rollers are basically what laser does is that
Mhm.
laser inflicts controlled strategic damage to your skin,
Yeah.
which forces your skin to create more collagen and repair itself.
Mm-hmm.
A microneedling roller does that, but physically, and you're controlling it. So you can choose anywhere from a 0.5 or a 0.75 mils to a 1.5 or a 2. And then you should roll different parts of your face with different depths, right? A 0.5 you should do around your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
but you can do much, much deeper into the rest of your skin.
Sounds brilliant, because it's like when you work out, you're kind of damaging yourself a little, and then
Yeah.
allowing it to
Yeah.
repair. Same thing
Yeah.
same concept with this. I'm
Yeah.
going to be ordering. I have to order some stuff. I'll tell you right now. My daughter, I tried to send her some stuff from a skincare line, and I sent her a bunch because her face is raw with the mask knee from
Yeah.
she works at Starbucks, and she's just raw. I saw a picture of her, I'm like, oh, my baby, her face is just raw. So I sent her, any kind of healing stuff I could find. It's La Poste Rosé. Did I say that wrong? I probably said it wrong. Anyway, and she just wants all natural. She doesn't want anything with any ingredients in it. So guess where I'm going to buy her Christmas present is through you.
Yeah.
Because she discarded it all. Sorry, Mom. And she's even doing what you were doing and making her own just pure little bath bombs and pure little things. That is where the millennials are going. That's where That's where they want to be. That's where they want to go. I mean, Victoria, they live for that stuff.
But the problem is that the millennials are there, but the actual information is like secret. It's like the cosmetics industry is a secret police, and they're all keeping this information and no one's actually disseminating it, right? So like, for example, bath bombs, right? Bath bombs are great. They smell nice. They soften the water. You might get some essential oils. Yeah. But like, I carry magnesium chloride, right? I import magnesium chloride from Norway, and I make oils, butters, and flakes for bath flakes, right? Now, a lot of people really, they know that magnesium is good. They know it's essential, and their doctor tells them to take it. So they all take it. Yeah. But they don't know like how it works or why it works and what's the difference between this product and that product.
Right. And I don't.
But so my basic,
I have a skincare knowledge.
My basic spiel is this, okay? So Epsom salts are good. They have a 10% absorption rate transdermally. Magnesium citrate and biglycinate, and then there's like a new one. There's like a new fancy magnesium that has like super bioavailable. But anything internally that you absorb through your digestive system and has to be filtered through your stomach and your intestine basically has an 8 to 20% absorption rate. You will not absorb any more than that. So if you take 1,000 milligrams, best bet scenario, you're going to absorb 800. If you take 1,000 milligrams of magnesium, you're going to be on the toilet for the entire day.
Yeah, I've done that. My friend had me take a citrate. Is it citrate? Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a double-edged sword. Because like there is the Epsom salt is quite low, and then you have a tiny bit more with the internals, but then you're just going to be on the toilet. So I carry like magnesium chloride, which is an 80% absorption rate transdermally. So when you get into a bath, like I always say, have a bath at least once a week or as needed. Use the oil all over your body, not your face, right? And then the body butter is more like slow release Tylenol, anti-inflammatory. Put it on your feet at night. Helps with eczema, helps with pain, inflammation, achiness, cramps, all that jazz. But literally, if you have a bath, I don't need to convince you what works. I don't. You will have one bath and you will feel a difference.
You're signing me up. Let me tell you, I have fibromyalgia. You don't know. I'm in these fibromyalgia groups.
I do. I know.
100,000 women, and they're begging for information. Like, help me. I mean, this is just but your problem might be where you need more hands, because
I do, because there is like literally a butt full of autoimmune diseases. Yeah. And that literally the only thing that will help and release that inflammation, pain, achiness, all of that stuff is magnesium. But here's the kicker for you.
Okay.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Stress. Yeah. Sleeplessness. All of that stuff is a magnesium deficiency.
Perfect. I have all of the above. It's been pretty, crazy. I'm probably going to be your single best customer ever, because I have it all. Yeah, for sure. So
I mean, we have to be honest.
How are you going to manage all these new customers you're going to have coming your way? Are you going to be able to? Do you have any thoughts on where this is going to grow or expand to? Because I mean, everybody needs what you have, Katarina. Please.
Honestly, if I came to a point where I couldn't manage, I employ local women here who will help me. I already have like 2 women who would definitely do it. And if I honestly suddenly magically exploded to abnormal proportion, I'm very capable. But like, if honestly, like I could probably produce like 200 units of each thing every day. But if I suddenly came to a magical explosion point, then number 1, I would quit my day job, because I work for Vancouver Coastal Health.
Oh God, you do that as well on top of all that. Oh Lord. And 3 kids. I need a nap thinking about it.
I have a magnesium hot tub outside that gets used a lot.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, that gets used a lot. And I try to, and I think the key thing is that when you're talking to me and you think of Mila Earth, it's not Mila Earth. I am literally a dozen women in our community. I connect with everyone. I get different people to carry the products I share my profits with them because I don't have profits. To me, we are only as profitable as our community's health. And if we are all healthy and balanced, then we will be rich in spirit, in knowledge, in generosity, in kindness. And that is the difference. And that's why I started. So, I mean, just don't get me wrong. Just because I'm a business now, I don't need to do this for money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never done this for money. I do need to make sure now that I legitimately break even.
Yeah.
But it's more like a journey where I connect different amazing healers, practitioners, naturopaths, nurses, and massage therapists and chiropractors. And it's like a healing journey. And the people that are clients and friends and participants in this journey, I would say give me back just as much as I give to them, because they elevate you, right? They elevate you. They make you keep to the same standard. And I carry for example, I carry Ambleside soap and shampoo and conditioner bars because they make the best shampoo and conditioner bars. So you have to support the people who are actually doing the best in their field.
Yeah. Yeah, and sharing that information, because if we're just getting it from industry and from commercials and we're not hearing the best, because we're getting it from corporate whatever. We're not getting it the real info. They have an agenda, whereas what you're saying is your agenda is not the same agenda. It's a different agenda. It's to have connection and to have fulfillment in your life. It's not all about money. I mean, money's great, but it's just about
do I need to pay my rent? Yes. Do I need to be able to buy shoes for my children? Yes.
Yeah.
Do they still wear secondhand shoes? Because I believe in that value as well from my friends. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
my kids hated me when I did that. Now they all shop thrift. It's so funny.
Yeah.
They're older now. They're 20 and 22 and 25. So yeah. But before when I used to take them they'd be so mad at me because you know what they're like sometimes. Anyways, so what is your bestseller, do you think, right now?
I would say I would kind of break it. I literally have to look at the 3 different areas that I have.
That's okay.
So I would say my bestseller for cosmetics is the Age Defy Super Hydra Spray. Then people buy the Time Machine, which is a hyaluronic and vitamin C serum, which you actually get 2 of them, and it's very cheap. It's $35, and you just do a few drops, and it's a 1-month treatment. And then I do custom things too out of that as well. I'm supposed to be making some bee venom, which is a natural Botox for a girlfriend right now. I know, there's fun. You gotta have fun, right? You gotta have a little mixing fun, right?
For real.
And then I do the magnesium. Now the magnesium, I would say it's even as far as flakes, oils, butters, because it's about what everybody uses, and it's more like a magnesium package, right? Because when you use some people really prefer the flakes, and then they spend a little bit more money and they just have a bath every day.
Yeah.
Some people can't stand baths and they just use the oil. But honestly, my delicious body butter, which is vanilla, peppermint, orange, and lavender, it smells like a peppermint patty with chocolate orange.
Oh God, that sounds. Do you have any Christmas packages or anything? I
do.
That? Okay.
Of course I do. I've got 3 different ones. So I have an $18 one, which is a tiny body butter and a roll-on and a magnesium soap. So I always throw magnesium soaps. I thought these little, hold on, here I am. Little magnesium soaps. They're great for the face. They smell good.
Are those little rabbits? Oh, so cute. Are they rabbits?
Yeah, they're rabbits.
That's so cute.
Well,
Oh my
I
God.
made them for Easter, and then my girlfriend, who's again a client, she
Yeah.
said you should make these all the time because they're the perfect shape
Oh, that's the
to
cutest.
actually hold, right?
Oh,
So
there's so much talent in those hands of yours. Holy moly.
so that, and then I would say the Ambleside shampoo and conditioner bars,
Mhm.
hands down, one of the best hair decisions you make. Because now
Wow.
you've got no parabens, no nothing.
Even with this mop of
Oh
a,
my, yeah, I know. You won't really believe it until you try it. It's like Ripley's Believe It or Not over here.
yeah, you're gonna have to just pull together a Christmas basket. I'll just do a budget and just say, just put it together for me.
Yeah.
And that'll be that.
But a lot of my customers do that.
And do you have anything special for Black Friday, or we don't do that in Canada?
No. I still, like, I had until yesterday, I had 15% off. So, I mean, obviously, I would still honor that.
Oh, wow. You know, I'm good either way to support. It doesn't make that big a difference, you know, in the end. It all comes out in the wash.
Shipping to anywhere in Canada outside of obviously the Lower Mainland,
Yeah.
it's also important to note that obviously the flat rate boxes are best. So it's about maximizing the cost of the flat rate box, right?
Okay.
So, like, because when you ship, then it's like that, like in a flat rate box, I can fit in like a Big Bertha, which is my biggest magnesium flakes, and like 2 or 3 other products, right? But once you get to $25, which seems like a lot, but it's actually not. I just paid $40 in Etsy for like a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
And you can really like pack a lot in there. So the trick is when you're shipping anywhere else is to maximize a flat rate box with like the heaviness of the magnesium flakes with a bunch of the smaller products, because everything else is small.
Yeah.
But
so
you
what's a
want to
flat
get the
rate
flakes
box go for? Like, how does that work?
like it's based on weight. So I think like the smaller one is like $18, and it's I think it's like 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So maximum of 10 pounds. And like, I know I can fit in like 4 stuffed magnesium bags in there, which is like the equivalent of a Big Bertha.
Yeah.
And it's like 2.5 kilo of magnesium.
Yeah.
And then I can still like jam, like it's really jam. I can jam in like a couple other things.
Well, if you could put together a little suggestion box, including I need a gift for my daughter too. She's 22 and whatever.
Yeah.
And just to put together a little suggestion box, and then maybe we could organize it from there.
Of course. I would say in general right now, I would say always go with a magnesium starter pack, which is 3 baths. It's a 1 month supply of magnesium oil, 50 ml body butter, and obviously get it in Delicious because she would
I'm
like
going to
that.
need more bath stuff. I eat a bath every day because of my pain.
You do, yes. You should get.
I'm going to need.
Yeah. So for you, like I would literally do like the bigger flat rate box, so you can get a Big Bertha and a couple other packages, so you can give gifts.
I need the Mama Big Bertha. That's me for sure.
Yeah.
So I can't thank you enough. And what I'm going to be doing is planning in the new year, hoping to get together a little Zoom convention of all these women that I'm going to be interviewing this month. I've got there's close to 40 of them from all different walks, different businesses, and doing like a Zoom Women of the World get together where we all get on a Zoom together.
You look sensational, by the way.
Oh, it's all makeup.
You can't even tell that you're in any kind of pain.
I hide it now. Thank you so much, Katerina, for this time. And it's so great to meet you. And we'll talk again, okay?
Yes.
We're Facebook friends, did you say?
I don't know. I'm going to add you, though.
Add me for sure. Make sure
I did. I added you today.
Perfect.
Maybe.
Okay.
Did I?
Make sure you subscribe.
I added Anahita. Didn't add you. Okay,
add me and subscribe because you're going to get comments on the video.
Yes,
then you can watch.
I will.
Okay, honey.
Okay, bye.
Ciao. Okay, bye.